One thing that doesn't change here in Cannes is the obsession with stardom, causing a stir even among the ultra-sophisticates of the French film world.
Hi, my name is Damon Wise. I'm in Cannes with the team behind Eephus, which is screening in the Cannes End. We have director Carson Lund and actor Keith William Richards. So, Carson, could you just give us a sentence or two about your film Eephus? How would you describe it?
Ephus is a sort of ode to the beauty of amateur baseball, Sunday League baseball. It's a community I'm a part of. I play baseball myself, and this is kind of a portrait of a kind of a sacred ritual between a large group of men that happens once a week, and I feel like is fading from America in a lot of ways.
And so when did you start this project? What was the beginning of this movie?
I started writing it during the pandemic, mostly over Zoom with my writers, Mike Basta and Nate Fisher. I'd been looking for a long time for an idea that would strike me as that, felt really personal. I've been a cinematographer for a long time, so I've worked on a lot of features with Tyler Taormina, whose film's also here in Fortnite, and I'm really drawn to atmosphere and mood and less so story sometimes, but I was looking for a location that would inspire, something that I could build a narrative around, and this film takes the form of one single game, so it's a bit of an unconventional story structure. We use the game to kind of house the story, and it's also a film with a large ensemble without a specific protagonist. And kind of thinking through these different characters, and built a box score to create a visual map of kind of how the game would flow and the story would flow, and how we'd move the camera around the field and capture the light passing from day to night. And it's a long process of writing it.
Keith, tell me about the character you play.
I play a pitcher. His name is Ed, and Ed is he's a legend in his own mind, I'm going to say, in a way. I mean, he's always looking for that perfect game, and looks forward to going to the field. He never misses a game. He runs the team. He's like the captain. Everyone looks up to him. Yeah, he's rough around the edges, but he loves baseball. And as I said, he's a legend in his own mind. He's looking for that perfect game. And that's pretty much what my character plays into when you get into the story and the field and what's going on. I don't want to give out too much information. You could see he starts to lose, that steam, realizing that, this is coming maybe to an end.
How did you get involved with the movie?
How did I get involved? That's a good question. Well, I got a phone call, and he pitched the game to me, and I couldn't get away from the fact, okay, I'm 61 years old and I'm going to play this baseball game, a pitcher nevertheless. And I know what it was like to grow up in a hockey family and to drift away from that. It's kind of like you're moving to a different neighborhood, You lose all those friends, those contacts, all the stories, I mean, I spoke, everybody I spoke, we were birds of a feather. My whole life revolved around the people I was involved with in hockey. And when I kind of drifted away and moved on, so I know that emptiness. So I kind of figured that's what he was shooting for after the first meet. I get it. A bunch of grumpy old men on the field.
I know he's sitting next to you, but pretend he isn't. What did you see in him that made you want to cast him?
Well, I'd known Keith from Uncut Gems, as I think many people discovered Keith in Uncut Gems, and he plays a very different character. You wouldn't want to be stuck in a room with that character. It's all death stare, and I thought he had the intensity that, just from seeing him in that film, I thought he had the intensity and, just sheer persistence and force of will that was required for this character, Ed, who is just hanging on so for dear life to this tradition that he holds so close. And you know, he's kind of an asshole in the film.
Big time.
But I think it was exciting for you because you're kind of a tender asshole. It's not like Uncut Gems
I'll
where
take the
you.
compliment.
Well, tell me about the shoot. How do you shoot a movie that's based on a sport? I mean, you have to, that dictates where you're going to be, you're blocking, your angles. Or, tell me a bit about the problems you faced.
Yeah, there were so many challenges. We settled upon a single field in southern Massachusetts. It was the perfect field. I scouted hundreds of fields, really, across New England, and found this one, and it had everything we needed. And I wanted to get on that field as soon as we could with the whole team. Of course, we did rehearsals ahead of time, but once we're all on the field, it felt so real, so natural. And a lot of it was planning, really extensive planning with my cinematographer, Greg Tango, and my assistant director, Mike Bostu, who I wrote the script with. We created these really thorough storyboards so that we could track where the sun would be at any point in the day, so that we could maintain that consistency and that continuity as the film is unfolding in something close to real time. So very, very diligent storyboarding and
Fighting Mother Nature.
fighting Mother Nature because we got so much rain that month, and that was had to roll with the punches there.
And the stink. This takes place in one day. We filmed for a month. We couldn't change anything. Couldn't wash anything.
That's true. That's true. You don't want to go in that clubhouse. We had to.
Spraying everything.
What would you like people to take away from this movie in Cannes? What would you like audiences to feel or think about?
I want people to see it as something much more than a baseball film. I think it applies to not only baseball, but any sport or any extracurricular activity that people pursue out of passion and a need for community and camaraderie, something that they can pursue outside their job or family commitments or anything like that. It becomes a sort of second or third family.
He's right. When it comes to, for me, it was the connection. They released everything. They came back new men after every game. They went through that process. They told all their stories, their upsets, whatever it is. Everybody knew everybody's kids. It was really a community thing, and almost like a counseling job. I mean, if you think about it.
Group therapy.